Hello there, it's Cameron again. This is my 1996 Miata, and today I'm going to be showing you how to do some basic maintenance on it, like changing the oil and checking the transmission and differential fluid. Also changing them if you're down there, but I'm just going to be checking them for today. All right, let's get to it. First, I'm going to be jacking up the car. I'm going to show you where I jack it up in the front, and then the rear is going to be on the differential. Let's get to it. Okay, so these cars being as low as they are, you might need a low profile jack to even get under there, but I just jack it up from the front subframe here, so I'm going to show you where that is now. It's right down there. I hope you can see it in there. And now we'll move on to the back. All right, so now jack stand placement on these cars is just going to be on the pinch weld, so I'm doing it on the front, and I'm going to do it on the rear too. I'm not going to show you the putting the jack stands on the rear because it's the same thing. Just put it somewhere back there on the pinch weld. Pinch weld is this bit right here that comes down. As you can see, the jack is sitting there against it. Okay, so now onto the rear jacking point for the floor jack. I kind of had to shove it under this rear bumper because my car is a little bit lowered and I'm on an incline now because I have the front jacked up. So it's just going to be the differential. I'm going to try and get you down under there so you can see. Get kind of a better angle there. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, so now that the car is on jack stands, I'm going to go ahead and go down there and drain the oil and take off the oil filter from down below. But first I'm going to take off the oil cap. That way the oil can vent a little bit while it's draining and it drains a little bit quicker. All right, there's that. Now I'm going to go down below and I'm going to show you how to crack open the drain plug and take off the filter. Okay, so here we are down below the car. Here is the oil drain plug. Let me see. Okay, this one is a 19. Some of them are 16s. I grabbed the wrong side, so I'm going to go get a 19. But you're just going to go ahead and put a 19 wrench or whatever you can fit on there, crack that loose, take out that drain plug right there, and then I'll show you the oil filter. Okay, so the oil filter is going to be right there. You can see it, it's blue on this one. It's an old AC Delco filter that I put on there, but all you're going to do is you're going to reach up right through here, crack it loose. You can use an oil filter wrench too if it's too tight. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Also, to get it all draining, I don't want the oil to drop on my phone, so I'm going to move you out of the way. But I'm going to get all that draining, and then we're going to put the new filter on, put a new drain plug gasket on. Okay, so here is my drain plug. Here is my drain plug gasket. I went ahead and pulled that off just to show you. This drain plug gasket actually looks okay, so I'm going to go ahead and reuse it. Typically, though, if it's too smashed or just doesn't look right, just replace it. It's better than having to replace it when it starts leaking. So just do it while you're in there. It's not very expensive. But if it looks okay like this, you could get away with another few oil changes on it. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this one, throw it back on. I don't know the exact torque spec for this. If you want to torque it, I'd say torque it to maybe 25 foot-pounds. But I'm going to just go ahead and get it nice and tight. I'm going to torque it with love rather than the torque spec. Okay, now it is oil filter time. Great. I'll make a mess everywhere. Let me see if I did it too tight to do by hand. Yep, and I tightened it too much to do by hand last time. Well, they also heat up and over time, you know. So, okay, so that was pretty terrible. It took me a very long time to get that oil filter loose. Much longer than it should. I forgot how much of a pain this one was in particular. This car really does not like having its oil changed. This is only the second time that I've done it on this car, and both times the oil filter has been ridiculously difficult to get off. And it's not due to over tightening or anything. It's just something to do with that oil filter housing that messed up a little bit. But yeah, there's not really any clean way to get the oil filters off of these Miatas. So you just kind of have to let the oil drip all over everything down here. And, you know, it's a Miata. It's probably already got oil all underneath anyway. All right, now putting the oil filter back in, you can go ahead and smear a little bit of oil all over the O-ring that sits on the mating surface under there. That's what I did. Now you just kind of reach up in there without letting oil drip on your head and get it started. You do not want to cross-thread your oil filter housing. So once you get that started and get it on there, just go hand tight. It doesn't really have to be anything crazy. All right, I already put drain plug back in and everything, so now we'll head back up top and put oil in this. Okay, so as I was saying, the oil filter fought me a lot. I just figured I'd show you the aftermath of my battle. So anyway, there's the oil filter. Yeah, it's going to do that again next time. I know it is, but I'm not going to remember. All right, so here we are. I'm taking my oil filter funnel, which is just fashioned out of an old oil bottle. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that in there, right in the top of the valve cover. Crack open my new oil. Now the 1.8 liter engines, and I believe the 1.6 liter engines all take 4 quarts exactly of 10W30 is the regular oil viscosity that you're supposed to run in these Miatas. If you're doing it for like a race Miata or anything, you might want to do a little bit thicker oil, so 10W40 probably. But anyway, regular 5-quart jug, so I'm going to just pour in about 4 quarts, so there should be about a quart left in here when I'm done. So here we go. We're just going to pour in some oil. You don't need to use a funnel, but it just helps not make a mess sometimes. And sometimes you still even do make a mess. So depends on how accurate you are at pouring your oil. Okay, that is roughly 4 quarts. All right, 4 quarts of oil. You can also set it on a level surface and kind of look at it here, but I don't really have a level surface anywhere, so I kind of make one just like that. Okay, so now that we got 4 quarts of oil poured in it, usually you just start it up and then check your oil if you're just changing your oil. But I'm going to go ahead and check my transmission fluid and my differential fluid. So I'm going to move on to transmission right now, and I will take you guys down there and we'll see how to check it. Okay, so first off on the bottom of your transmission here, this is your oil drain plug. So if you're changing your transmission fluid, take this out. If you're not changing it, make sure that's tight and just leave it how it is. Your fill plug, however, is going to be over here. Your oil fill plug is going to be right up here. It's going to be this thing. It's kind of a square, so I'm going to just use a crescent wrench to take that out. And you want your oil to maybe drip out of it or be roughly right underneath that oil fill plug. And if it's not, if it's farther below and you can't even like reach it with your finger, then you're definitely going to want to add some transmission fluid. These Miatas are going to take GL4 7590 in it. So you're just going to pump some of that in there. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and crack that loose, check my oil, and I will see you guys back there at the differential. Okay, so here we are at the back of the car. This right here is the differential. This bottom one is the drain plug. This top one is going to be the fill plug. I don't know if you can see, but there's a whole bunch of residue all over mine. That's because mine is leaking out of that axle seal, but I just haven't gotten around to replacing that. I don't know if I will, or if I'll just keep topping it off. So I'm going to go ahead and check my fluid here, and we're going to see how close it is to full, and if I need to add it. Okay, so now that I've gone ahead and checked all the fluids, put new engine oil in it and everything, I'm going to go ahead and drop it back on the ground. So to do that, I'm going to just reverse the process using the floor jack. I'm going to put it under the differential first in the rear, lift up the car in the rear from the differential, pull out the jack stands, drop the car, do the same thing on the front, put it on the front subframe, lift it up off the jack stands with the floor jack, pull out the jack stands, drop the floor jack, and then we're going to be back on the ground. Then we're going to start it up, check the oil, and of course, after some basic maintenance, you always got to take it for a test drive, make sure it still works. Okay, the last step of changing your oil on a car is going to be just checking the oil. So after letting it run for a minute, pull the dipstick, wipe it off, make sure it's clean, dunk it back out, down in there, pull it back out, and then check your oil level. And then you want it to be at the full mark. So I'm sure you can hear the car through my microphone. Anyway, we're just going to take it for a little test drive, which is always a good idea after your oil change, or really anything you do to your car. Doesn't matter what it is. You know, you just got to make sure it still works. Give it a little beat. That's true. We're going to take back roads because, you know, back roads medium.
Yeah, way better.
All right, let's catch this Chevy truck. A little bit of spirited driving to break the oil in, you know? Just gotta make sure it's doing the lubrication stuff that it's supposed to. Oh, whoa, I put it in gear. I didn't even mean to put it in gear. Listen to that creak and squeak. That's really a Chevy. All right, so that was a little bit of basic maintenance on a Mazda Miata. That goes pretty much for any car, but specifically for the Mazda Miata, I went ahead and changed the engine oil and I checked my transmission and differential fluid. Everything was all good. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I might see you in the next one.